Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. So I know that for so many people, the desire to find balance in their life has become kind of this overwhelming goal. I have work, I have family, I have faith, I have my friends, I have hobbies, I have all these things in my life. I don't have balance in my life. And so the question can come up, like, how do you achieve balance? There's gonna be three things, right? First thing, I remember hearing this from someone who I thought was very wise, and when they said this, they said, many of us imagine balance as rest, right? Like balance as something static, but it's not. And they gave this example. They said, imagine, stand on one foot. If you can right now, stand on one foot. Now, pay attention to what your foot is doing and what your body is doing. You're balanced, but you're actually not balanced. You're constantly adjusting, you're constantly moving, you're constantly compensating for the fact that you're on one foot. So you haven't achieved balance, you're balancing. So it's gonna be ongoing. It's not rest, it's active. Number two, balance in your life is going to be disproportionate. We don't have equal parts family, work, hobbies, whatever the other thing is. Even that kind of idea that, work-life balance, I want my family, my life balance. It's not that cut and dried, right? It's gonna be disproportional. Disproportionate? It's not gonna be 50-50, right? It has to be disproportionate. This is even true when it comes to work. I mean, think about something we got from the Bible. Here's God who creates the world in 6 days. Again, this is figurative language. We all know that that actually happened, but how it literally happened doesn't have to be 6 days, but it's very theological and deep and a whole other thing with that. Anyways, back to our story. God works for 6 days. He rests for 1 day. We work 5 or 6 days and rest for 1 or 2 days. And if we actually were to change that and say, like, I work and rest half and half, there's something off about that, I think. Maybe you would say, no, I've tried it and I love it. They do it in Europe. I don't know if they do. I don't think that's balance. I think everything in its place is balance. In fact, there's going to be things that are disproportionate in your life if you want a great life. I remember I was watching this competition. It was a CrossFit thing anyways, but I was watching this competition and the woman who won, she said, champions can't have balance. Champions can't have balance because they have to be all about the thing that they want to be a champion about. So as a Christian, it means Christians can't have balance either, in the sense that I can't just give equal parts to everything. I've got to make some decisions. I've got to make the decisions about what am I going to seek first. And Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of heaven. If we're going to be saints, it means you're not going to have balance. So seek first the kingdom of God. That's the third thing. So first thing is you don't have balance, you're balancing. Number two is that sense, what is it? Disproportionate. And number three is you need priorities. One of the things we hate to do is we hate making decisions. We hate saying no to something because even if that means we get to say yes to something greater, but we have this fear of missing out. And so I think, well, I'll say yes to all these things. I mean, they're all good, right? Yeah, they're all good. But sometimes the good, and choosing all the goods, is the enemy of the great. We said before that sometimes perfect is the enemy of the good, and other times, choosing so many goods becomes the enemy of the great. We need to prioritize. I remember I came across something a while back that said the difference between busy people and productive people is that busy people have goals, all these things they want to do. Productive people have priorities. They have all the things they want to do, but they've taken the next step and they've decided this is the number one, this is the number two, this is the number three, and so on. And you can see this in people's lives, right? Because every decision costs something. Every decision, every open door that you walk through, it costs all the doors you didn't walk through. And so here's someone who says, I value my career very highly. And so there's going to be a trade-off. You will not have as much time with your family and friends. Someone says, I value my family and friends more than I value a certain kind of income. You say, okay, that's the trade-off. You get more time with family and friends, but you have less financial resources. But if you've made this decision, these are my priorities. I value this over that. I value friends over finances. I value my faith over the rest of my life. That recognition that you have goals, but you've made decisions about those goals. You've made them priorities. If you're going to be a saint, you cannot do everything, but you have to do the most important things. This is actually Ephesians chapter 5, I think it's verse 15, where St. Paul, he says, as you walk, do not walk as unwise people, but walk as wise people. Be careful how you live. A lot of us, we don't make decisions. We don't decide this over that. We just say, oh, I'll do it all the good stuff I want. Like, no, be careful how you live. Do not walk as unwise, but as wise. Because you're called to be a saint. If you're going to be a saint, you can't do it all. You only have to do what you have to do. So, hope you find some balance, or at least have a great time balancing. From all of us here at Ascension Presents, my name is Father Mike. God bless. I just winked. Dang it. I should change that. Okay, let me do that again. From all of us here at Ascension Presents, my name is Father Mike. God bless. No wink.